Once upon a time, in the vibrant Nigerian village of Oduba, lived Mama Adaeze, who was known for her strength and undying love for her only child, Alex. Life hadn't been kind to her. She had lost her husband when Alex was just a baby, leaving her alone to fend for their small family. But she poured all her heart into her son, working tirelessly to provide for him and give him a chance at a brighter future. Mama Daisy made sacrifices that left many in awe. She worked the farmland from sunrise to dusk, taking up menial jobs in neighboring villages just to make ends meet. When drought struck and crops failed, she sold her last piece of farmland, a precious inheritance passed down from her own parents, leaving her with just a piece of land that stood their home. It was all for Alex to keep him in school, to buy him books, to see him become something more than a village farmer. Even when the villagers raised eyebrows, questioning why she would spend so much for a boy, Ma Daisy held firm. She believed her son would one day bring honor to their family name, lifting them out of poverty and giving back to their village. Growing up in Oduba, Alex was the pride of his mother and indeed the entire village. He was known as the young man with a golden heart, quick to help anyone in need. He would spend afternoons sitting under the large mango tree with village elders, listening to their stories of courage and tradition. Alex had big dreams and spoke passionately about changing the lives of people. His mother was his greatest inspiration, and he would often talk about how he would build a house, provide for her in her old age, and repay her for the years of hardship she endured. Before long, she saved up some money and sent Alex to Lagos. They parted ways, and Alex promised to make his mother proud. But life in Lagos was not what Alex had expected. Though he had initially left Uduba to find work, he found himself swept up in the city's fast life. His initial plan had been to send money back to his mother, maybe even visit every other month, but Lagos quickly pulled him into a new world of ambition, high skates, and high rewards. Alex's entrance into Lagos high society started with an unexpected encounter at a bustling rooftop lounge. It was a Friday night, and Alex was celebrating his first paycheck from a modest sales job with some friends. The place was packed. It was beautiful. In the distance, he saw as wealthy patrons enjoyed the weekend. Amid the laughter and clinking glasses, Alex caught sight of a group of people in a private booth, surrounded by laughter, expensive bottles, and an aura of effortless wealth. One man in particular stood out, Jide. Jide noticed Alex staring, and with an amused smile, he gestured for him to join their circle. Surprised and flattered, Alex did not hesitate. He found himself mingling in a crowd he had only ever seen on magazine covers. Lagos big boys. Jide introduced himself, exuding a confidence that could charm anyone. He was warm, engaging, and treated Alex like an old friend, listening intently to his story of leaving Oduba to start something of himself. Jide saw Alex's hunger and ambition, the same drive he once had himself, and he decided to take the young man under his wing. Tell me, Alex, Jide said with a glint in his eyes. What if I told you there was a way to make real money? No more peanuts for a paycheck. I mean, real wealth. The kind that gets you into places like this any day, any week. Alex was surprised. But how? He asked, eager for any opportunity that could make his dreams a reality. Jide laughed, patting him on the shoulder. Leaders have a way of rewarding those who play smart, not hard. You will see. Stick with me, and you will be sipping the good life in no time. Let me show you a faster path, a path for people who are ready to take risk. Gide's promise was simply irresistible. He painted a picture of endless possibilities where money could be made in days instead of years, where connections were everything, and where rules were simply obstacles to be maneuvered. Alex's head spun with the possibilities, his heart pounding with excitement and a trace of fear. He knew his mother had warned him of shortcuts and easy money, but Gideon's words felt like fate knocking at his door. It was a kind of opportunity he had dreamed of ever since he left home. The chance of finally rising above his circumstances. Over the few weeks, Dide introduced Alex to business partners, influential people with dubious connections who controlled wealth through shadowy deals. They taught him how to move within their circles, to speak with confidence, and above all, to keep his eyes on the prize. At first, Alex handled only minor tasks, closing small transactions for quick cash. But soon, the stakes grew, and so did his cut. Alex's new life took off, and he quickly forgot the long hours and hard work he once believed were the only ways to succeed. Lured by the promise of even greater wealth, Alex found himself in deeper than he had anticipated. As the years went by, Alex's desire for wealth pushed him into darker paths. He started by selling fake contracts to unsuspecting people, promising them big returns on investments that didn't exist. He also sold properties that were not existing to people. And sometimes, when he finally get a hold on a property, he sold it to multiple people. He convinced friends and even strangers to invest in non existent properties and business ventures, all the while using their money to fund his lavish lifestyle. He made up stories of success and excitement, creating an illusion wealth that drew in more people. Behind the scenes, he was juggling lies and debts, trying to keep everything under control. He became involved in money laundering, making illicit gains look clean by funneling them through fake businesses. Each risky move led him deeper into a web of deception. One day, as Alex gazed over the city's light from Gide's penthouse, a familiar pain stirred somewhere deep in his chest, a fleeting memory of simpler days, of his mother's face lined with hard-earned wisdom and enduring love. His mother had poured everything she's had into Alex's future, widowed and working tirelessly in the field. She did whatever it took to see her only child succeed. When there was no more harvest to sell, she let go of the last piece of land her husband had left behind, making the ultimate sacrifice so her son could stand a chance at life beyond the village. Her sacrifices weren't just financial, they were laced with sleepless nights, whispered prayers, and constant worry over a boy she'd sent into the unknown. But in Lagos, Alex had quickly slipped into the grip of a world far removed from the one he grew up in. The initial phone calls to his mother had always been sincere, filled with stories, and they would laugh. He would reassure his mother that he was safe and well, and made all the promises of buying her gold, buying her wrappers, buying her all kinds of things. Yet, as his new life took hold, those calls became rare and brief. Each time his mother called him, he would say, Mama, I am too busy. Sometimes she would even plead for just a few more minutes to talk about his work and life. But he was never available to talk to his mother anymore. She begged him to be careful, to hold on to the values he had learned back home. But each call felt colder, as if she was speaking to a stranger wearing her son's voice. Desperate to stay connected, Mama and Daisy would scrape together a few naira, borrowing money just to keep the small mobile phone he left her charged, hoping to catch him at a moment where he was ready to talk. Yet, Alex's calls were infrequent, and when he did call, he sounded distant and impatient, more like a stranger than the boy she had raised. Days became weeks, then months, with only one or two half hearted messages from him. Mama Daisy's friends in the village started to notice her sadness, her frequent trips to the little roadside where she would wait, clutching her phone tightly, hoping for a call. Word had spread about her son's success in Lagos, but little did they know of the aching emptiness that had taken root in her heart. The boy she had loved so fiercely was slipping away into a world of wealth and deception, and her sacrifices seemed to mean less to him each day. On that very night in the penthouse, as he glanced down at the bustling city below, Alex felt a faint pull of guilt. His mother's voice faded, her sacrifices forgotten in his relentless pursuit of the riches she had once hoped he would earn honorably. Unable to bear the silence and neglect any longer, Mama Daisy made a grueling journey from Utuba to Lagos, her heart heavy with worry and hope. She wore her best clothes for the occasion, modest and clean, with her head scarf tied neatly, determined to remind her son of the values he had left behind. The bustling city felt foreign and overwhelming, a stark contrast to our small, familiar village, but the sight of her son was even more shocking. When she finally found his home, he barely resembled the boy she had raised. Alex was clad in designer's clothes, his wrist adorned with an expensive watch, a phone glued to his ears as he barked orders. Gone was the humility, the warmth. In its place was an air of arrogance that chilled her to the core. She approached him cautiously, calling out his name. Alex, Alex. The tone in her voice, full of love and heartbreak, would have once softened his heart, but now he barely spared her a glance before ending his call. Mama, why are you here? He asked, his tone more irritated than concerned. Mama Daisy swallowed, feeling the weight of her journey, her sacrifice, and her longing for the son she knew before. Alex, she began softly, is this what you've become? A man who has forgotten his roots, his family, his mother? I sold everything for you so you could have a better life. Not this hollow shell chasing after other people's dreams. He scoffed. Mama, the village life is small, backward. You don't understand what it takes to survive here. I've outgrown those old ways. Each word felt like a dagger to her heart. The very values she had instilled on her son, he has tossed them and discarded them. She looked him in the eyes, this time determined to reach whatever part of her son might still be there. But Alex, this life is not who you are. You promised me you're gonna stay true to yourself, to our family. Do you even remember why you came here in the first place? But Alex turned away, a flash of irritation crossing his face. Mama, you don't understand what it's like. Everyone here is out for themselves. I am done with the old ways. Mama Daisy cried, reaching out for his hands, but he pulled away. He didn't even look her in the eyes. Okay, now she realized she had seen the truth that she had dreaded. The son she had raised with so much love and sacrifice was lost, not just to Lagos, but a word that had stolen his very soul. She walked away, leaving him in his own prison. She whispered a prayer, hoping that one day he would remember his true self and find his way back to her. In her heart, she knew that only time and perhaps a heavy fall could lead him back to the boy he had once been. Years passed. Alex's wealth grew, but so did his troubles. His dishonest dealings caught up with him, leading to his arrest. One day, the police raided his office, arresting him for fraud and other serious charges. Alex was shocked and terrified. He thought he could charm his way out, but the evidence was overwhelming. However, he was still very confident that Gide and the other member of the gang would come for him. However, as soon as they heard about his arrest, they cut every ties with him, disconnect and anything that could connect him with them. In prison, he was alone with his thoughts. Days turned into weeks, and soon he realized that he had no one to turn to. His high society friends who once surrounded him had vanished. They wanted nothing, of course, to do with someone facing some serious criminal charges. Alex was left to ponder the consequences of his actions. Trapped in a cell, filled with regret, in a flash, he's lost everything. The shame of the situation grew heavier. He finally decided to call his mother. When she answered, her voice was filled with concern. She had heard whispers about his troubles and could hardly believe what she heard. Without hesitation, Nana Daisy rushed to Lagos, her heart filled with a mix of hope and sorrow. When she arrived at the prison, her eyes filled with tears at the sight of her son. He barely resembled the boy she had raised. I'm so sorry, Mama, Alex cried, feeling the weight of his choices. I need help. With a heavy heart, Mama Daisy shared the difficult decisions she had made. To bail him out, she had to sell the last piece of land she owned, the land that had been their family's home and source of food for years. She handed the money over to the authorities, willing to sacrifice everything for her son's freedom. When Alex walked out of prison, he felt the burden of shame on his shoulders. Everything he owned was taken away by the authorities, and he had nowhere to go than to return to the village he had left behind. Upon his return, the villagers avoided him, whispering about his fall from grace. His mother, still heartbroken but unable to abandon her son, took him in. In the quiet of their small home, Alex faced his mistakes, understanding the true price of his pride. Slowly, he began working with his mother in the cocoa fields, humbled by the very life he had once scorned. Each day was a lesson in hard work, respect, and the values he had forgotten. Through his mother's unwavering love, Alex slowly started to rebuild his life. He learned that true success wasn't about wealth or status, but about integrity, family, and the strength to rise after a fall. With time, the villagers forgave him as they saw his genuine remorse. Though he could never regain what he had lost, Alex rebuilt a simple, honest life in Udugba. Hello, my beautiful community people. Thank you for watching my story till the end. Now tell me, was Mama Adaeze right in taking Alex back? Did you think she should have left him to rot in prison and learn his lesson the hard way? Do you know anyone who has been in this situation before? How was he handled? If you enjoyed watching the story, please like, subscribe, and share with your friends. And I look forward to seeing you in our next story. Bye.